someone right now might be sitting there thinking, I really want to quit my job and I want to start my own business. How do I even pluck up the courage to do that?
So it depends on the circumstances of the person. So just quitting your job is something I actually advocate. I think if you don't have kids and you're living at home, then you should. In some respects, the Vikings call this burning the boats. When they land somewhere, they used to burn the boats. So you kind of got no choice but to make the thing you're focusing on work. Mm-hmm. And I built 19 companies. I wouldn't have been able to build any of them if I wasn't focused on them one at a time, right? I don't care how good you are. I'm building a business today. I couldn't do multiple businesses at once. I couldn't have a job and build this company. I couldn't, and I'm really experienced. I know everything about how it all works, and I still couldn't do it. So people do need to focus if they want to make something work. And I think take a risk when you're young is absolutely good advice. Mm-hmm. Now, do I want people to quit if they are paying rent or they've got bills to pay that they can't sustain? Then do it slowly. Definitely there's a way to do it. Now, personally, I always think get one client and build it up. Right. So my first business was a gardening company. I was 15 years old. I knocked on someone's door. They were a big house with a messy garden. And I just said, hey, you've got a messy garden. Would you like me to take care of it for you? And they said, sure. And I charged them £200 and I took care of their garden. And so you can, sometimes you just start simple. Mm-hmm. Like window cleaning. Like you don't need a big social media presence. You just go see houses with dirty windows and knock on the door. Like go back to basics. And if you're young, I think this is good experience. It's like university, but for real life. Just knock on a door, learn to sell. Hello, I noticed your windows are dirty. Would you like me to clean them? No, get lost. Okay, you learn resilience. Knock on the door and say, hi, I noticed your windows are dirty. Can I clean them? Who are you? What? I've got someone that does it already. You learn how to deal with competition, how to review your competition before you knock on the door. By the 100th door, you would have learned more in that 1 week of knocking on 100 doors than you would ever do, in my opinion, in university. So sometimes we're starting a business. It literally is just, people don't realize when they look at me today, big social media following and a LinkedIn competitor platform, they think that it just happens overnight. This is a compound over 20 years of work. And sometimes that's what it takes. But if you're enjoying it, it won't feel like work. It's that old line, like if you actually enjoy what you do, it won't feel like a single day's work, blah, blah, blah.
Heard it many times.
And basically that's true. But I think also people overthink about what to do. So sometimes like Airbnb, for example, started really as Obama reels, right? They sold cereal boxes at conventions where Obama was talking. Now, there was some correlation because if you go to a conference to listen to Obama, you're likely to need accommodation. So they were doing research on accommodation costs and how people could perhaps stay at the Obama festival, as they were called back then, and stay in cheaper accommodation than the very expensive hotels that were all yanking up their rates to get more out of people. But so there was a correlation between Airbnb's research need to understand why people would book an Airbnb, a spare room or whatever during that convention. But in the meantime, until that worked, they sold cereal boxes at the convention to fans. And that funded the early stage of the site. So cereal box, they're not Kellogg's today, are they? Airbnb aren't Kellogg's. I'm not, but they could be. But that's how they funded it. And so a lot of the businesses I built, I've used one business to fund another. So my gardening company, the cash flow from that, I tried to start a window cleaning company, mm-hmm. and now today I run a competitor to LinkedIn, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I started off cutting grass and there's nothing wrong with that. And I enjoyed it. It was an experience.
Mm-hmm. I think